everyone, welcome to UTV Guna and our show, the Roaring Gunners from the city of Joy with Saradeep from the Arsenal Bengal official supporters group. Hey bro, how are you?
Yeah, great man, great my friend. I'm just down a bit with fever, but got my energy back after the great victory today. A great victory, I have to say, after that dismal first half. So yeah, I'm good. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. Enjoying the warm weather here. I was just telling you before we started recording, it's 28 degrees. You're telling me over there it's 40 degrees plus. So
Yeah. It's at this moment it's not 40 degrees. It's around 33, 34.
yeah.
But generally in the summertime, the rain has started here in India now. The rainy season, the monsoon that we say that generally brings the rains is here. But during summer, it's 45, 43 is quite normal sometimes.
Yeah, so for us, like 28 is really warm. We're having a really good summer though. Like we've had many days of being really hot like this, and the forecast is going to continue as well. So yeah, enjoying the warm weather, enjoying watching our boys play again today. So first proper game of pre-season. We had a couple of behind closed door games, and this one was televised. It was good watching our players, our signing, the big one so far this summer, Gabriel Jesus. Comes on after 2 minutes, gets his first goal. Great start. Also got a second. One of these goals they gave it as an own goal, so unfortunately didn't get the hat trick. But yeah, got 2 goals, helped to change the game. As you were saying, the first half was really poor. It was a much weaker team you played in the first half compared to what we played in the second half. The players off the bench. But yeah, what are your thoughts overall on our new star striker and the game?
I'm gonna reply to the overall performance in the game first because the first half was stupid. The first half was poor, and I can still see that there are various rooms for improvement in our squad. And in the first half, the likes of the personal changes in the second half kind of tilted the game back in our favor. And Gabriel Jesus, oh my God, what a great start from him! 2 minutes, bang on scoring. He completely changed the game. Since he came on in the second half, you could see that the squad, the people around him were a lot hungrier because he showed the hunger. He kind of, with his pace, with his movement, with his skill, kind of uplifted the team, and it was outstanding in the second half. But to be fair, in the first half we were poor, we were lackluster in terms of attacking wise. We're not there. We look like a disjointed team, and in the second half you could see the changes in personnel completely changed the game. Outstanding play from Gabriel Jesus. You can see the hunger in him, and also I'll have to mention the other players like El Neni who came on, and the youngsters in Patino in particular. Patino, I think he was superb as well, coming on at the latter stage of the second half, and I think it was overall a decent game. But I'll have to mention one or two names who are not good enough and who we must be sailing as soon as possible. The number one in the name is Pablo Mari. He doesn't know what he's doing. He was dismal in the first half and even poor in the second half as well. He's never good for Premier League. I don't think he's good enough for Indian Super League. So forget about Premier League. He's not good enough for Indian Super League football. So I'll have to say that, and also I'll have to. I won't be getting too much critical on Matt Turner, but both the 2 goals that they scored in the first half could have been avoided because he missed just the flight of the first goal, and then in the second goal, you can see the ball, kind of went beneath him while he was diving on his right. So yeah, it's the first match of the season, also pre-season. So I won't be looking to find too many negative things or something like that. But in terms of positives, I think Gabriel Jesus is a massive positive, and also the way that the team came back in the second half is something to be very something to be very excited of.
Yeah, the first game, players are lacking fitness. We can't read too much into pre-season in general, really, because You know, it's just about building up that fitness more so than really going for wins. We obviously want to win the games, and we did manage to win this one, even though we started so poorly. But let's talk about a couple of players. Uh, we're not sure if they're going to be with us long term. So you mentioned Pablo Mari, another one, Hector Berlin. What's your thoughts on him? Do you think we should be selling him?
I think we must be selling him because if the way, as you see, he's not good enough as well. I think Cedric was in the second half. He was good. He was better than what Bayern did in the first half. And you can see Bayern since he lost his pace, he's not the same player anymore. I do believe that we are going to sell him if we get the proper bid from Real Betis. But as you can see, the tantrums of Betis is that they want to sign him at a very cheap price. I think we can't allow that. But if the right offer arrives, I think we must ship Berlin now because he's just. I think he won't be the proper backup of Takehiro Tomiyasu because I think Cedric is better than Bayeri at this very moment.
Okay, and what about Reece Nelson?
Man, I'll have to say something that I'm very disappointed in him because he was at 3 or 4 years ago he was one of the most hyped players of Arsenal. Everybody was so excited about Reece, and also he was a superb player, and his transition from a youth team player to the first team player hasn't been that smooth, and I think we have to sell him because I don't think he has done enough to warrant a place in the first team squad for this season. I mean, even you see that in Feyenoord last season, yeah, although they did well in the Conference League but he didn't really score that much goals or assists. Yeah, he had impacts in certain games, but that is just touch Eredivisie, so you just really can't compare Eredivisie with Premier League, and he's also now 22, 23, and in his positions, we do have the likes of Martinelli, we do have the likes of even if you had now Marquinhos, who have signed this season, and many other players. Emil Smith was in there as well, plays on the left hand side, and if on the right hand side, we already have Saka, we have the likes of Pepe if he stays. So I think in selling Nelson will be the wiser idea, but I don't know if I think one of either Nicola Pepe or Luis Nelson will be sold this season, but I will go probably with Luis Nelson more than Pepe.
Okay, I was going to ask you about Pepe next, but you said already your thoughts on that. So let's go to Ainsley Maitland-Niles.
I think he was decent to do in the first half. I don't think he was that bad. But again, it's a massive dilemma, whether to keep him or let him go. I think letting him go or selling him permanently will be the better decision because at this moment we have the likes of Xhaka, Lokonga is there, Partey, if I'm correct, Partey is still there, and Fabio Vieira as well. So yes, Ainsley Maitland. I think it's a tricky decision, but also we'll have to remember that this season we are going to play a lot of matches because Europa League is there, so and all those Thursday games. So maybe I'll keep Maitland Niles for this season at least and give him an opportunity in the midfield because we in the Premier League, we are going to play in the Europa League, so there will be a lot of Thursday and Sunday games. So on the Thursday, we can just feel someone like Maitland Niles because it's only the Europa League, so you won't get apparently relatively those stronger opponents like we used to get in the Champions League. So maybe we can try him there and see if he does well there, and then we can think about him later the latter of the season. So yeah, I'm going to keep Maitland Niles, to be honest. I'm going to keep him.
Okay, so let's now talk about our new star striker. We were saying great start for him. What's your expectation for him goal-wise, you think, next season? How many goals do you think he can get?
Yeah, Gabriel Jesus, as I forgot to mention that he can play on the wing as well. He can play as the right winger, he can play as the left winger, so we have more options on the wings. So more of the reason to, offload Reece Nelson. So yeah, but as you asked, how many goals, it's difficult to say because it's his first season at Arsenal, and at least as we can at least say that he will be a guaranteed starter as a striker. I can see at least 15 to 20 goals in the Premier League will be nice, because the more the merrier, but at least 15 goals will be the minimum expectation from Gabriel Jesus this season to really challenge ourselves for the top four or something like that. Because Nketiah, yeah, he has been decent. He had been decent in the last few games, but I'm still not convinced that whether he will be banging in goals regularly if he gets an opportunity. So Gabriel Jesus will be the main striker for us unless we sign another. So yeah, 15 to 20 goals at least.
Okay, so now looking at the transfer window, we brought 3 players in. We got Fabio Vieira, Marquinhos, and Gabriel Jesus. Spent around
Matt Turner as well.
Yeah, that one was done like in January, wasn't it? So
Yeah.
this window itself, I mean, we got 3 in, spent about £75 million approximately. We don't know what the transfer budget is. We don't know how much is left. But now, what do you think we need to strengthen still in the team? What's the priority for you?
Of course, we need a left back. That's for sure. We need a left back, and Lisandro Martinez would have been a perfect player for that because he can play as a centre back. He can play as left back. He can play as a central defensive midfielder as well. Sometimes, so yeah, he would have been a perfect player. So we need a left back for sure. Yeah, we need. I will still say that we need another striker. And if Pepe and Reece Nelson both leaves, we need a winger. We need a winger and probably a midfielder. And probably I do believe that we are going to get Tielemans, because as the reports are suggesting that Yuri Tielemans is quite certain to not renew his contract with Leicester. So Leicester are probably going to sell him this summer, and if it gets at the latter stages of the transfer window, so I think the ploy is that we might get him 2 or 3 million less than what we have to pay for him right now, because at that time we can bargain him like at this moment it's like 25 million, but probably at that point of time we can get him around 21, 22 million. So that is, I think, the strategy that we have taken regarding Tielemans. But if suddenly a team comes and snaps him up, then it's going to be very great. But I think Tielemans is done there. I think we are going to come back from him at the latter half of the season, latter half of the transfer window, I must say. But yeah, this is exactly what we need. The left back is certainty where we need a left back, because Tierney, given his injury records and all the things, we need a backup. A midfielder for sure. A striker, I still think, is quite an important position that we need to cover, and a winger if both Pepe and Nelson leaves.
Okay, yeah. So I was just having a little look, seeing whatever links. There's no real strong links to ask you about today.
No, nothing. At this moment, there's nothing going on, because you can see the likes of Rafinha is gone. Lisandro Martinez also, it seems that he's going to Manchester United, because he has worked with Erik ten Hag during his Ajax days, and I think even Adrian van der Sar at the helm of Ajax, they will be probably tempting or tilting the player to go to United more than they will be encouraging him to come to Arsenal. But although we still know that no bids have been accepted yet, so as soon as any bid from any club gets accepted, it will be a lot more clear. But yeah, we need that is very moment. It looks a bit barren because no players that have been linked. Somewhere we are seeing about, listening about Paulo Dybala and all those things, but I really don't know whether we will be going for him, because we do have the likes of central attacking midfielders already, like Odegaards and Smith Rowe and Fabio Vieira, who can play as a more advanced midfielder. So I'm not really seeing Paulo Dybala coming into Arsenal. So yeah, it's something that we really don't know. The journalists don't know what the club is doing. Well, at this moment, it's quite dry.
Yeah, as we stated before, we know that a lot of things are put out there this time of the year. It's hard to know what to believe. It has gone a little bit quiet in general, you would say, with links for us and other players. It might be a case where we're going to leave it until a bit later in the transfer window. We're negotiating still, and we know what it's like trying to get the best deals possible. So still a little bit of time to go. The last question I wanted to ask you is, I asked you where you think we should strengthen as a priority, but I want to ask you, how many players do you think we should bring in, and how many do you actually think we will bring in?
We should bring in 4 players actually. 4 players: left back, midfielder, winger, and striker. But I can see we getting 3 players at least, because 3 players, I think Arteta knows that we need at least 3 signings, because midfield, yeah, we need a midfielder. We need a left back desperately. We'll have to go for left back because we have been linked, all the links are not that strong. But we've been linked with Grimaldo, who plays for Benfica. We have been linked with, you know, we haven't been linked with any striker, but maybe we are going to go for him later in the transfer window, maybe at the end of in the last week of August or something like that. I think we're going to get 2 or 3 players at least, because we need 2 or 3 players at least, to strengthen our squad, because given the number of games where we're going to play next season, and the importance of having a squad that is a depth that has depth, because we could see in the last couple of seasons that the lack of depth in our squad has cost us big time. Every time we have seen a midfielder or a left back has gone injured, we have been completely exposed, and we have capitulated after that. It happened last season. It happened the season before. So we can't make those same mistakes. But I'm pretty optimistic that we are going to get things right this season. At least 2 or 3 players are coming. 3 players, 4 players will be perfect, given that we can move on the likes of Torreira, Pepe, Nelson, Bellerin. Also, don't forget, Pablo Mari. I'm not sure who is going to get him, because if you tell me that you want Pablo Mari, I'm gonna say no. So I think it's going to be very difficult for Arsenal to move Pablo Mari on, because that player is absolutely abysmal. I've never been this much critical to any player. We have seen the likes of Squillaci, we have seen the likes of Giroud, we have seen the likes of Mustafi as well at the latter stage of his career at Arsenal. But Pablo Mari, from his first match till now, he has been an absolute disaster. I don't know what Edu and Arteta saw him. Actually, after the match finished today, I was searching about the time when Pablo Mari joined Arsenal. And, in the Arsenal website, when he joined, it was like Edu was saying that we have added an experienced defender who is going to help us like that. We have followed his career very closely, and we are very happy to bring him on loan. And then, after his dismal performances, we decided to make his move permanent. So that is something that this kind of things, certain things that still goes beyond me, that why do we do these things. But as you said, that how many players we need still to come in, it's also important to think about how many players we'll have to ship out, because if you see, we are one of the worst selling clubs. Whenever we sell our players, we either let them go for free, or we either sell them at a very, very low prices of like in pennies we sell them. Because I was just seeing that Neco Williams, the Liverpool left back, who played a handful of games at most for Liverpool, has been sold to, I think he's gone to Nottingham Forest. And probably he's gone to Nottingham Forest for 17 million. 17 million for Neco Williams. And now here, we are struggling to get 10 million for Hector Bellerin. Can you imagine that? We are struggling to get 5 million for Lucas Torreira. So these are the things we have to, improve, because Liverpool, Chelsea, we only see them buying players. We have to follow, and if you follow it closely, how they sell players, you will be impressed by that because they sell their players at a very decent price, and we have never managed to do that. The only player who we have sold properly is Alex Iwobi, like 30-35 millions that Everton paid for Iwobi. So apart from that, we haven't managed to sell any players at the amount that we must be selling. I think this has to change because we need to ship off players. We need to ship off the likes of Nelson's, the you know Mari. Also, Tavares has to go out on loan because we need a proper left back in place of Tavares because Tavares is not ready to play for Arsenal. He has to get things. He has to get regular opportunities at a lower league club or something like that, or at a different league, outside of England, maybe to get his confidence and get his game better. So it's not just about getting players; it's also about selling players as well because we just can't have all these gadudes around here and expect to bring in quality players along with them because then it just creates a bloated squad and it is not good either.
Yeah, it's very true. It's not just about the players that come in. We've got to be smart with the players that we need to sell, get good money for them, and let's hope we can do that. Not being our strong point for many years now, I'm just saying, but let's hope we can do it now. Okay, so that's all for this week's show. Looking forward to speaking to you next week. Pre-season's going now to America for us. Got a few games up there. And then not long now till 5th of August. Time's flying. Less than a month till the season starts now. So exciting times. So yeah, bro, thanks for your time.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, looking forward to the games, in the US, and then I think we have a solitary game against Sevilla in the Emirates stuff. I don't know why they've done it because it used to be a lot more exciting when they used to play like 4 clubs in the Emirates Cup, but now I don't know what is the strategy behind all this amount of
I'm
games
surprised as well.
or
I'm
something
really
like that.
surprised.
Because it always used to be 4 clubs at least because
Yeah.
that makes it interesting. That gives the fans also, I think, to watch your game. Watch all those teams. In the preseason and all. But yeah, different approach, different new season. But yeah, really excited. Really hopeful as well that we are going to get our transfer done properly in this season and get to a good start. Shouldn't be the way it started last season. We need a better start this season, and hopefully we're gonna get it. Thank you, my friend. Thanks for your time. Thank you.
You're
I
welcome,
appreciate
bro.
being in that.
You're welcome, bro. It's a pleasure to have you on. Yeah, let's hope we really start well this season and we get the win. Crystal Palace away is going to be a difficult one, but it's important we have a good preseason and hit the ground running. So that's all from us.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for watching. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share.